All right, this is Drive Safe Dave with BCB Live. We are back live here at the show, and I just want to make sure, Amy, welcome back to the show.
Hi.
She's walking around pointing out all the problems going on. She's hiding her eyes and going OSHA violation, in and out, all around. First of all, Amy, tell us who you are and who you're with. We want to make sure everybody knows what's going on.
Hi everyone, I'm Amy Roosa. I'm the CEO and founder of the Safety Rack, which is a YouTube channel designed to talk about women's PPE and workwear and close the gender gap on that industry.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, there's a lot of things, you know, when you talk safety equipment 15, 20 years ago, it was one size fits all, right?
Yes.
And now it's not that way
No.
anymore. Now we found ways to make it better, safer, fashionable. Heck, Sir Rick walks around in PPE 24/7. I think he has pajamas.
I have heard this, and slippers to go with it.
It's PPE slippers. And you know what? It's not okay. There's a problem right there. Honestly, there's a problem.
Should we have an intervention today?
We should talk about it. And going on. So anything new going on that you want to bring up?
The YouTube channel's growing, so if you are out there trying to look for women's workwear and PPE, definitely head over to YouTube for the Safety Rack and hit subscribe. I have new content coming out.
All right.
Yeah.
Like, how can they get to it? What do they need to do? How do they get there on YouTube? What do they look up?
Just look up the Safety Rack.
The Safety Rack. Make sure you get an opportunity to log on, and tune in anytime,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
See what it's got. You got any special guests on lately?
I don't, but I will be launching the podcast next month.
All right, and
Yeah.
we're excited about that. Amy, you have a special guest in the house,
Do.
and I just want to, it's Dad, isn't it?
It's Dad.
Hey, Dad. All right, so Dad, give Dad the mic for a second. Hey, Dad, how
Hi
you
there.
doing? Drive Safe Dave here. It's nice to meet you.
Good to meet you too.
All right, let's talk for a minute. Former truck driver.
Yes.
How long did you drive a truck?
I started in 1986. I just retired last November.
So you've been driving basically since '86.
Yes.
Over the road mostly?
No, actually city mostly.
Mostly city. Run
Yes.
last mile type delivery?
LTL.
LTL?
My last career was LTL.
Was it really? And then, so over the career, and I'm just going to ask, how has it changed dramatically, would you say, as far as safety equipment within the truck, from when you started in '86 to where it is to the last truck you got in?
I showed her a Peterbilt out here, a Peterbilt cab over. And that was the truck that I learned on. And I remember going through the mountain passes with a 350 Cummins, no engine brake. And now, my last truck, my Peterbilt, I just throw the engine brake on. When they give you a speed to go down the hill at, believe that. Do what they say.
Yeah, absolutely.
Put it in that gear and just hit the brake, and you would just go down. I'd never sweat it. You know, back in 1986, yeah, you were just wanting to get down the bottom without.
Yeah, you actually got out and looked at your brakes.
Yes.
You actually
Yes.
got out and checked them because you wanted to make sure they were basically ready
Yes.
to go down the hill, because if you didn't,
Yeah.
you were going to be sorry before you got to the
And
bottom.
that's one thing that really I saw as a problem in the company I work with the fleet is guys get lazy. They don't look. Every trip you walk around, look.
Yeah.
You know, and look at your brakes. And when you're using equipment that somebody else has been, and then you get it and you see that the axle, boy, you've got an axle's leaking here, and you know, and how many guys pulled that and never bothered to look at it?
I think that's a real big important thing, and I think what we're trying to do is what we're focusing on here, and when we talk about in BCB Live, that pre-trip, how necessary it is to make it happen. And you've been doing it a long time.
Yes.
The basics never go away.
No.
The
No.
Truly, the basics never go away. I don't care if you drive an old Pete or a brand new Pete. Those basic fundamental safety things never go away.
And you know how to do it because you had to do it to get your license in the first place.
Yeah, absolutely. And all you can do, if you do it, you practice it, you just get better.
Yes.
So, and I would say over the years, if you had to tell and you had to pull a guy aside who's just starting out 1 year away, what's that? That's the one big piece of advice you would give them. Hey,
Don't take it for granted.
Don't take
take it for
anything
granted
for
that
granted.
this equipment is okay to drive.
yeah, because it's not.
No.
It's not
Yes.
okay till you say it's okay.
Yes.
Because
Yes.
it doesn't matter what name's on the side. It doesn't matter who pulled it last. When you get in it and you drive it, guess who owns it?
Yes.
The driver owns it. And that's what we got to realize, we got to understand. And if you own it, you got to do it. You got to drive it like you own it, right?
And me personally, I never wanted somebody to get into a piece of equipment that I just got out of,
right,
and
absolutely.
find something wrong with it. It's my stamp of approval was on it. My
absolutely.
reputation when you got in that truck or you're pulling that trailer.
I already knew it was wrong.
I looked.
Yes.
Yes.
I already turned in a DVIR.
Yeah.
I had already done that. Yeah.
And yes. And
I'd already. I knew it first because I was
Yeah.
just in it. And not only and you talk about that, we talk about pre-trips a lot. That post-trip is important
post-trip.
as well.
You go to a terminal and you watch guys come in.
And they jump out.
They back into the door and they pull the pin and they drop it and you didn't look. And you just drove 400 miles to get here and you didn't look at anything. And
that is not a stamp of approval, is it?
No.
And what else out there as you drive and as you were driving? I know not now, you don't drive now, but you've got a lot of years of experience behind you, a lot of miles underneath your wings. What's the other one thing out there on the road? Now I know what you do before you get out on the road. When you get back, what's that one thing you want to tell them to be aware of when you're out there on the road?
I was asked once. I used to be on a safety committee for the company I worked for, and I can't say I had a perfect record. I had some, and every accident I ever had where you turn and you scrape somebody, it's because you're thinking of what you're going to be doing. I got this delivery. Are they going to be there? And you got to stay in the moment and pay attention to what you're doing right at that time.
Your brain be on
Yes.
autopilot.
Yeah, I'm telling you that one of the hardest things to do. We talk about it all the time, and we bring it up here on the show, and we want to reiterate it. Is that driving a truck is so complicated, or driving at all. I don't care if you're in a 4-wheeler or if you're in an 18-wheeler. I don't really care. There's so much going on. You don't have time for that computer to spin for a minute while it thinks, because then you've had an accident. You don't have time for your brain to stop and put on pause a moment when you're out there. You've got to make sure that you're focused on what you're doing and paying attention just like you are in the moment, being prepared for what may come, but never be in a hurry, because I think that's when we start thinking too far ahead, we start getting in a hurry in what we're doing.
And one thing I recommend, and I've been fortunate that 2 places that I worked put me through the Smith system.
Yeah, the Smith system works.
And it's if you don't know what it is, or you never go look it up. It's a real thing.
Yeah, we talk about it here on the show. You know what I like about the Smith system? It's an effort to make you aware of what you're doing and how to drive. And I think it's a process in which you can apply in your everyday driving, and it can be applied to anyone.
Yes.
It doesn't matter if you're in a big truck or if you're in a full personal vehicle. It doesn't really matter as long as you're involved. Hey, I appreciate your service out there on the road. I mean,
thank you for what you're doing.
Yeah, let me tell you, we had an opportunity when we had COVID to really appreciate the drivers for the first time, and I think a long time, right? We've had a real rare opportunity, a real rare moment to look over and realize what heroic activity is happening out there on the road, right? I mean, genuinely understand and appreciate what drivers do. Because a lot of the times we lose sight of, we take for granted that it's on the shelf. We take for granted that it's there when we need it. We take for granted the clothes that we have on our back that we buy, and
it all came on a truck. Somewhere.
Everything came on a truck.
Yes.
Even if it came on a train, it came on a truck when it got here.
Yes.
I mean, it didn't get to the train by air. I mean, it came on. It got to the train on a truck. I'm just saying, it all came on a truck, and even when it comes on a boat, it goes on a truck.
Yes.
So I'll tell you, we got to understand, we got to appreciate, we got to remember what we're doing. I want to thank you for your service out there.
Thank you.
Thanks for
You're
bringing
welcome.
your dad by. Are y'all enjoy the show today? And I'm telling you, stop by and get. Have you ever been to I-80 truck stop before?
Oh yes. Oh,
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I tell you what. Have you had the pork chop sandwich before?
Yes, I have.
Yeah, I'm
Yes.
telling you, I keep
worth
talking
the
about
trip.
it, and I don't know, but I got to go get me one here in a minute. I hope y'all have a great day. Enjoy the show. Thanks for stopping by, and we look forward to your podcast soon.
Thank
All
you.
right, we'll be back in just a minute. I think Sir Rick's got somebody lined up with a challenge. See you in just a second on BCB Live, the safest station in the nation.